Released in late July of 1999, this Renny Harlin production made over $100 million in profit, atop its $60 million budget. Mixing elements of science fiction, horror, and action, this is a totally preposterous yet simultaneously entertaining 105-minute adventure. Leading a team of scientists on an isolated research facility, Saffron Burrows searches for a cure to Alzheimer's by experimenting on a trio of super-intelligent sharks, who predictably break free and begin eating everyone. A rather unlikable character and hardly a recognizable name herself, the casting of Burrows in the lead role is certainly a curious one. She's able to handle the rigid technobabble and aquatic stunts surprisingly well, though. Attempting to bait the giant fish, she taunts, "She may be the smartest animal on the planet, but she's still just an animal." By endangering the lives of her colleagues, she ostensibly becomes the film's only real antagonist, but inherently I'm inclined to agree with her aggressive research methods. A cure for Alzheimer's absolutely would be worth the lives of a few marine scientists. Trapped on the sinking facility with her is Thomas Jane as a resourceful shark trainer, LL Cool J as a religious chef, Stellan Skarsgård as who else, a scientist, Michael Rappaport as a happy-go-lucky assistant, and Samuel L. Jackson as a headstrong CEO touring the lab. And in a truly bizarre move, prolific bad guy actor Ronny Cox has a brief, non-speaking and uncredited cameo for no reason whatsoever. This eclectic group aren't the best fit for each other, but in a movie like this we're more concerned with how they'll die instead of how they'll interact. And on that point, mostly all receive fantastic and graphic demises, thanks to their hungry adversaries. The shark's constant presence looms over every scene, giving the film great and necessary consequences. This culminates with an absolutely fantastic jump scare moment that punctuates one character's dramatic monologue. Seeing a 20-foot shark glide through a flooded hallway, for example, is positively terrifying. The rising water is just as much of a threat as the fish though, with several scenes, especially a sequence inside a burning elevator shaft, feeling very similar to the Poseidon adventure. On a related note, the set design is a real highlight, giving the characters unique locations to explore while being framed by detailed close-ups and colorful wide shots. Although the R-rated picture takes a while to really get going, it occasionally plays against the expectations of its formula, tricking the audience to expect the predictable before delivering something new. For the late 90s, the computer-generated creatures are handled impressively well, and the movie remains quite suspenseful and well-paced throughout. But it's also rife with giant plot holes. Like, why is there only a skeleton crew present the day of their biggest scientific breakthrough? And if the sharks are so smart, why do they bother flooding the building and eating humans when Jane is quick to point out all they want is freedom? A scene where the tall and sexy Burrows strips down to her underwear to avoid electrocution also seems particularly gratuitous. Pulling a Will Smith, Cool J lends his talents to the film's titular pop song, which boasts the unforgettably ridiculous lyric, "Deepest, bluest, my hat is like a shark's fin." The primary score itself by Trevor Rabin borrows themes from Jaws and Psycho, but is an effective original work in its own right. A guilty pleasure I've enjoyed many times since its release. In fact, it was one of the first DVDs I ever bought. This movie is undeniably fun. Sure, the premise is absurd, the acting rather stilted, and the effects don't always hold up, but it's easily the second best shark movie ever made. Deep Blue Sea, unbelievable and stupid, but truly exciting entertainment. And here's what you had to say about it in the YouTube comments. Although you like Sam Jackson and the interesting premise, you faulted the film for its effects and overall absurdity, scoring it a 5. My penchant for dumb carnage allowed me to overlook this picture's biggest flaws. I know it probably doesn't deserve such high marks, but I've always loved this movie. I think it's great.